Welcome to FNaF News. I'm your host, the TNT Muffin, and today we're going to be talking about new figures, plushies, and more. Recently, the company Jazwares revealed their upcoming line of Five Nights at Freddy's merchandise, and we're going to be talking about all of that today. Starting off, we'll talk about the action figures, which we've got shown a bunch of. First of all, we'll look at Freddy here, which I think looks pretty cool. It seems like they're going for a bit more of a game-accurate look with these figures, less stylized. There are some issues, like, the ears don't have coloration on the endoskeleton bit, and the eyes might be a little too big, but I think this does look like a pretty good Freddy figure. This next one I think is really sick. It is a Withered Freddy action figure, and I think this looks insane. This is, definitely the most accurate piece of Withered Freddy merch we've gotten so far. Very game accurate representation of him there. You can see there are actual holes in him showing the endoskeleton behind, which is really cool to see because I feel like usually action figures just have a black spot there. You don't actually see what's inside. So I think that's really sick. He's also got the endoskeleton mouth inside of his mouth, which is nice to see. It's just really cool to see an action figure of Withered Freddy at all, because we've been waiting forever for Funko to do it, so it's nice to finally be getting one. There's also Endo 01, which is really cool looking. Again, the paint on this one especially is not the best, but it's mostly supposed to be just silver anyway. I do think it looks pretty cool, pretty accurate model of the endoskeleton, and I believe our first actual full figure of Endo 01. Cause Funko, we got mostly complete figures inside of Radioactive Foxy, but they never had a head. We are finally getting a head with this guy, and that's pretty sweet. Now here's where I'm going to reveal the big gimmick, a cool feature about these action figures. All three of the ones I've shown so far are going to come in one box. You get the endoskeleton, and then the other figures, you actually just get the suits for them, and you put the suits on top of the endoskeleton. That's why, Withered Freddy has holes showing the endoskeleton underneath, because he actually has a full endoskeleton underneath, which is pretty crazy for a figure. I will say, though, an issue with this is it seems the box only comes with one endoskeleton, but, the suits for both Freddy and Withered Freddy. So one of the suits you kind of just have laying around, which is unfortunate. But either way, I think this is a pretty cool product. I assume we're going to be getting a similar thing like this for some of the other Withered characters, because we're also going to be getting action figures of Bonnie and Withered Bonnie. I assume those are going to be coming in a similar package. And yeah, Withered Bonnie is also going to be getting a figure, which again, I think actually looks really good. It is a very cool, accurate version of Withered Bonnie. He's missing one of his hands, one of the arms is completely gone, one of his feet is missing. He's got, his face opened up, which I think looks pretty sweet with the endoskeleton underneath. Again, people are saying, the paint could be done better, the ears could be done better for sure. It's not perfect, but I do think it looks good. It is a really nice figure of Withered Bonnie. Bonnie, I do think looks pretty good once again. I do think, though, that the classic animatronics, they didn't do as good of a job as they did with the Withered animatronics. Bonnie, I think, should have smaller eyes. His shape could be a little bit better, maybe a little bit of a bigger jaw, but overall, I think it is pretty decent. I think they did a pretty good job with him. As far as these type of figures go, with the removable suits and endoskeletons underneath, these are the only ones we've gotten shown so far, but we got other types of action figures shown as well, with the toy animatronics. Now, these aren't going to have removable suits, like I said, and I don't think they're going to be as posable as the others either. These have a different type of gimmick where I believe there's a button on the back that allows them to jump scare you. You can see here with the packaging for Toy Freddy, he's going to have glowing eyes along with that jump scare feature, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, a Withered Freddy action figure, once again, a character we've been wanting an actual action figure of forever. The toy animatronics along with the Withereds, so super cool to be seeing him. Unfortunately, something that is inaccurate are he has like these boring brown eyelids. Withered Freddy's supposed to have black eyelids, but overall, I think the figure does look pretty cool. We also got the Toy Bonnie action figure shown to us, which once again seems to be based on the Help Wanted version of Toy Bonnie with his really dark blue color instead of the baby blue type color Toy Bonnie usually has. I think they did a really good job with the proportions for the body and the head. Looks really accurate to Toy Bonnie in the game, you know, with the exception of the ears. I think those look a little bit goofy, but I like this figure as well. Toy Chica, another character we got shown to us. I think this one looks really good as well. I do think the paint could have been done a little bit better, you know, especially on the face there with the eyes, but it looks good, looks accurate to Toy Chica. And then, believe it or not, we also got a Mangle action figure, full-on Mangle. All of the different parts, it seems to be posable, at least I hope so, which looks awesome. This is probably the coolest piece of Mangle merch we've gotten so far, at least the most accurate one, with all the different pieces there. You got the endoskeleton head, it's missing an eye. It seems to be really accurate to Mangle in the game, and it's really cool seeing the entire full character like that. I am curious if this one's gonna cost more than the others or not, just because it has so many different pieces that appear to be posable, but I'm a little unsure how Mangle's gonna work. I assume Mangle doesn't have the jump scare feature, probably not the glowing eyes either, so maybe it will cost the same amount. You know, a bunch of different pieces, but not those special features. I really have no idea though. I don't care, honestly. It's a really cool figure. This is my favorite one for sure. So that is all of the action figures they showed to us. I think they did a really good job with it. A bunch of characters we've been wanting to see forever. They seem pretty accurate to the game. They have pretty interesting features. I don't know the price points, but I'm happy with this. Looks really sick. Next up, let's talk about the plushies we got shown. There's going to be plushies of the main 4 FNaF characters. We've got Freddy here, which looks pretty good. It seems like it's supposed to be based off of the plushie from in-game, except the eyes are, you know, sewn on instead of being bulging out, which is unfortunate, but it looks like a pretty decent plush. Bonnie, I think, looks pretty decent as well. Not too much to say about it. I mean, about the same thing as Freddy. I think it looks pretty decent. Chica, though, I think is actually really cool. This is the one that makes me think they're supposed to be based off the ones from in-game, because she's holding the cupcake, which I always love to see. I think the cupcake actually looks pretty good as well. And then there's Foxy. This one I think I actually don't like as much as the others. It's just kind of a plain plush, because, you know, he doesn't have a bow tie. They didn't give him any withering, so he doesn't have anything really on his body. But I mean, it's pretty decent, I guess. I'm not too sure how I feel about these plushies. I think they look like okay, but I don't know if I like them as much as Funko's plushies. I think they're just, I don't know, they're a little boring. I mean, we've gotten so many plushies of the FNaF 1 characters already, and these aren't really stylized or anything, so I don't really care for them, but they don't look bad. They did show us one more plush, though, which I do think looks bad, which is the puppet. I don't know why they even made the puppet specifically, because you just have the FNaF 1 characters and then also the puppet. It's a little bit weird to me, but man, it really doesn't look good. I don't really know what it is about it. I guess just because it's such a small head on such a big a body. The eyes are really small as well. I feel like the eyes should be a bit bigger. His proportions are a little bit off too. I think the head should be a little skinnier. Definitely should be a little skinnier. Not a big fan of the puppet plush, but the other ones aren't bad. I'm alright with those. Along with these, there's also these tiny plushies. I believe these are going to be in mystery boxes. Not too much to say. They're basically just smaller versions of these plushies. But we did get a different type of plushies. I think they're considered plushies from Jazwares, which are the FNaF Squishmallows. Now this is actually pretty interesting to see. Squishmallows, very popular brand of plushies or pillows, whatever they are. It's pretty cool to see FNaF finally getting those made. I'm honestly not that big of a fan of them. I mean, they're not cute, which is unfortunate. I would have hoped they would go for a cute design, you know, since they're Squishmallows, but instead they tried to go just like FNaF. I guess they tried to go accurate, which is nice, but I feel like they shouldn't be. You know, I think they would have been a lot better if it was just little dot eyes and a little cute face. So I'm not a big fan of these, but for Squishmallow fans out there, I guess maybe you'll like these. So yeah, these are interesting. We've got Squishmallows of Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. I don't believe we've gotten Freddy shown to us yet, which is interesting, but I'll let you know when we do. And then the last thing they showed us was this, like, posable plushy figure thing, which has glowing eyes and a voice box. It's basically just that, like, action figure plush that I think it was Funko that made it, where it does kind of the same thing. It makes a jump scare sound, I believe. The eyes light up. This is kind of just exactly that. I don't know why they're making this. Maybe they thought that people really like that thing. I feel like people don't really like it, so I don't know. I don't know why they made this. It looks alright, I guess. It looks really goofy. I don't know. But there's that as well. Most of the stuff I don't really care about, but the action figures I really like. I think they did a really good job with the action figures. If they continue making stuff like that, I think there's going to be a bunch of really cool Jazwares stuff coming in the future. These alone, I'm excited for. You know, I don't know if I really want to buy them just because of Jazwares as a company. Not the best because of their CEO, but the action figures themselves, really cool. I'm really excited for them. But yeah, that is all the news we have today. So if you want to subscribe, you can click the button on top of my head. If you want to watch one of my last news videos, you can click that button over there. And if you want to see some other video I made, you can click that button over there. And I'll see you when we get some more news on the Jazwares.